Hey guys, so we're going to try this out. Uh, Hi, hope you guys are making it in the ice storm okay. I don't know what it's like for you guys. It's a little rough here, but that's okay. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about how do cells connect, how do they work together. So at the end of chapter 4, there's this discussion about the what we call the extracellular matrix. It's in the intercellular space, the space between the cells. There are things that project off of different cells so they can communicate with and connect with other cells within tissues. They can form tissues. They can um, exchange information. They can exchange proteins, whatever it is they need to move back and forth. I've got a diagram here out of your book, and just to show you there's complex proteins, um, proteins with carbohydrates and lipids embedded in them that allow the cells to connect together and to communicate. Now, I don't really think we need to, at this point in your development, I don't think we need to know a whole lot more than than just simply that cells do have this matrix between them in the space between cells. Now, there are also discussions there at the end of chapter 4 in that section, the last section of chapter 4, about what they call intercellular junctions. That is how the cells connect directly to each other. Sometimes there's fluid between the cells, and sometimes the plasma membranes of one cell actually connects or touches the plasma membrane of another one. There are different types of those connections. Your textbook talks about those. Again, I just think that's probably a little beyond what we need to discuss here. So just be aware that it's a thing. They're there. There's more information there in your text if you need to know about it. Okay. That brings us into chapter 5. And it's a nice segue into chapter 5 because chapter 5 talks about, really focuses on the membrane, the plasma or cell membrane, and how it allows cells to communicate or not communicate with everything going on around them, with other cells, or again, what we call the intercellular space, the fluid or the space in between cells. Now, first we've got to talk about how is this membrane constructed? And we've hinted at this a little bit. There's what we call the fluid mosaic model. That is the prevailing theory of how this membrane, the plasma membrane, is structured. In this theory is we're talking around 100 years old. Is really all that. So it's constantly evolving. Your text kind of gives a rough timeline as to when some discoveries began being made about how this is structured and what scientists believe it was and what it did. What we know today, we're very comfortable with the idea that it is essentially a sandwich or a bilayer of two layers of phospholipid molecules, but other molecules then sandwiched in, intermixed within that phospholipid bilayer that generates what we call the mosaic. It's just this collection of different macromolecules put together to carry out the functions of the plasma membrane. And that's what we're going to talk about here after that. So I'm going to stop the video there because I can only do with this app that I'm using, I can only do about 5 minutes at a time. So it's a nice place to stop and pick up the next video then.